Hey, hello leaders. This is Paul Grau Jr. and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges. So today I'm going to talk about how some leaders want to be people pleasers. And, leadership and people pleasing don't necessarily always go together, but I've seen some people pleasing leaders that are amazing. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't be a people pleaser leader, but if you are, it can get you in trouble sometimes. And today I'm going to kind of give you some tips on what to do if you are a people pleaser leader. And I think these tips will help you thrive. And if you know of any others that are people pleaser leaders, share this with them because they'll definitely benefit from them. So this is originally season 1, episode 106, and I know you're going to enjoy it. Hello, leaders. Have you ever worked for a leader who tries to keep everyone on your team happy? I mean, to the point where they can barely make a decision because they just don't want to create any waves or tick anyone off on the team. Well, I refer to these leaders as people pleasers because they are always trying to please everyone. Now, people pleasing may seem like a great thing if you're on the receiving end, but in reality, people pleasing leaders struggle and sometimes they're challenging to work for. Today, we're going to talk about how you can avoid becoming a people-pleasing leader. Welcome to Run to Your Challenges. This is the 5-minute leadership show delivered to you 6 days a week that's designed specifically for mid-level leaders and team leaders. Okay, let's talk about today's challenge of people-pleasing leaders. So, like I said above, being a people-pleasing leader may not sound all that bad or challenging. However, when a leader becomes a die-hard people-pleaser, the team members have a tendency to use the leader as a puppet. They start to realize that they can get anything they want from the leader, and they will begin to actually manipulate the leader to an extent. That situation rarely turns out well for the leader. Furthermore, if the leader realizes his or her team members are manipulating them and using them, it's very difficult to reestablish themselves as the authority when needed. To avoid becoming a people-pleasing leader, try to develop these 3 habits. First, don't be afraid to ask your team members for feedback and suggestions on decisions, but do so very carefully so that your team members completely understand that the final decision is ultimately yours. After all, it's your responsibility. And although you should listen to everyone's input and suggestions, you may not always be able to utilize everyone's ideas. Second, after making a decision that may not be popular with some of your team members, sit down individually with each team member who made suggestions that weren't used and explain to them why you didn't use their idea or suggestion. Now, this should gain some respect from them, and even though they may be a little upset that you didn't use their idea, at least they'll see that you're willing to sit down with them and explain things. This also lets them know that you actually listened and even considered their ideas. And man, that is simply huge for their development and self-esteem, even though you didn't use their idea. The last thing that you want to happen is for your team members to totally shut down and not offer any ideas for the future. Finally, if you have to make a decision that the entire team will not like, warm them up to the decision by explaining the benefits up front. And explain the long-term plan. Don't withhold critical information from them. Share your insights about the unpopular decision and help them understand your way of thinking. This not only shows them that you actually care about them, it also shows them that you are making decisions with their long-term future in mind and that you respect them as team members. Hey, one thing is for certain, and that is that leadership can be very challenging at times. We need to lean on each other and share ideas with each other. If you ever have better ways of doing things that I share on here, man, please share them with me and let me know by contacting me directly at Paul Grau, that's PaulGrau, at currentleadershipcoaching.com. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I especially hope that you never feel obligated to become a people-pleasing leader. Develop those 3 habits we talked about today. As a reminder, please be sure to subscribe and leave me a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening from. And please share this briefing with coworkers and other leaders you know, and especially with your HR directors and your CEOs, so your entire organization can run to your challenges together. Thanks for listening, and until tomorrow, run to your challenges.